So, and it's that, I don't know, it's done things to society, but it's not like we're going to stop watching TV, right? So what?
I don't know. I think the EMP has to come first of all, um, because I think like I don't really believe in our ability to pull ourselves out of a free fall like by an act of will or self will. I don't think that there's too much pull. Set has too much pull. Anything related to do with set has way too much power. And so I think, and this is kind of one of the wild cards that gets left off the table. Everybody talks about how we're going to do this and we're going to do that. We're going to assert our will and do this and this and this. But nobody ever brings up the fact that the sun might just belch on us a huge mass coronal ejection, or somebody's going to drop an EMP. Would it be horrible? Absolutely. Would it be great? Possibly. So it's like I think that's really the only thing. I mean, it's kind of like the idea of hitting bottom, and nobody wants to hit bottom. Nobody actively seeks a bottom to stop. You know what I mean? I mean, some people seek bottoms. If you go to
Sorry,
the
sorry.
Nameless video today,
Chezi, hello. I think that's how I say it. It took me a minute.
okay.
Is this your rock bottom, Chad? Live streaming with Grimgris?
This is the height of my experience today.
A horizontal black screen versus a vertical black screen. Who
Do you
wins?
know where I started seeing the set go wrong? The first time I noticed my uh, 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 a bad manifestation in the world with my experience with set was, I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but when I was a kid, I remember laying in front of the television watching TV, and my mom was sitting behind me on the couch watching TV, or one of my parents or both of my parents were back there watching TV with me. And then I went to go say something to them in response to something I saw on TV, but I turned around and nobody was there, and I felt ashamed of myself and weirded out.
That
Cause
they were able to leave the room without you noticing because you were so entranced.
right, and then there I am talking to myself, and then I'm kind of like feel weirded out and embarrassed, and I don't know. Did you ever have that experience?
Hmm. I don't remember that experience. I remember being a remote control. I know more. One thing I am absolutely positive out of all the things I have been told in my life, none has been reassured to me more than that I make a better door than a window. I am positive of that. So, um,
Hey, there's really something to that. I mean, even on a symbolic level, there's something to that. So, I
there's
mean,
a thing I was thinking was like, since we can't defeat Set without an EMP, but see, I didn't get to raise the kids, but if I had, they'd know how to make EMPs. I mean, I don't have enough self-interest to learn to do it myself, but if I was, oh man. No, but assuming things don't burn down, we could approach this from the Galaxy Quest thing. I mean, it's like, so we got the thing where you take a million case studies and extract all the valuable stuff and put it into one story. Sure, that's fine. But there's something about how like the way the beast system works out is that if the advertisers just want eyeballs, what draws the most eyeballs is the most degenerative filth there is. And that's just because we have the top down suppression of our primal, because it's supernormal stimuli that catches our primal hooks, and so we have to have a strong top down suppression of it. Although, and so it's like, aside from people taking responsibility for who they do business with, like people who care about human rights on Apple iPhones, those kind of contradictions, um, it's like, why does our country, who doesn't believe in human rights, is against human rights abuses? Why do we do business with countries that don't live up to our standards of how to treat other humans? And but like, it's not like I'm holding my mayor accountable for his choices. So it's like, what what's an actual good citizen look like, and has anybody seen one in their lifetime?
We take turns. I think you can't be good all the time. It's impossible. But I know what you're saying. Yeah.
We can't buy into the notion that it's too far gone, because
Yeah.
that's an excuse not to put skin in the game.
No, I get that. And like so when I say things like the EMP and things like a lot of times people will think that I'm being really pessimistic, and there's actually a lot of optimism under that statement. Um, I know it does. That's what it takes, right? You said skin in the game. That's really what it takes, and you would only put skin in the game if it was absolutely detrimental for you to do that. And so I
What do
think
you
what
mean, to do
we're
what?
to um, to overcome or whatever, or not. Like you're saying, it's not all lost. It isn't all lost. Um, it just we bought into the idea for a long time that um, I don't know, like there's been I don't know how to put this. Uh,
Magic agrees with you. We do take turns because we can't all hold it together. But
right.
I mean, the baseline acceptability is like, the way it broke in me on the way here was like, why should I when nobody else is? Like, it's been normalized that it's okay so long as you pay your taxes and go to work, whatever. That's the minimum requirement. That's the standard level of participation in our society, really. And then you get like, the people that go to church are one layer up. They're
Mhm.
like one layer deeper part of the society. But like, I don't know, it feels like our species has been hit with weaponry.
Yeah. Well, like you said, so church people seem to be one level up, and maybe what they have at the base of their at the real foundational base of their worldview is that we're never going to get it right all the time, but we never get to stop striving to get it right. And so it's like like whereas I think the world I lived in, I didn't live in a world with a lot of churchy stuff, but I lived in a lot of cinematic worlds and like Nintendo, like where you can play like Mario Brothers, and then if you hit the game accidentally, if you touch the box wrong, it like buzzes out, or if you screwed up, you just go press restart and pull the game out and blow in it, and then stick it in there, maybe put a butter knife in there, and you get to start over, but you're still always playing the same game. And I think about some of the maybe psychological or spiritual effects that sort of stuff has on us. I think of things like, what does it mean if in my whole life, when I go for any sort of picture with people, when they go to take a picture, they say cheese, and then I'm having a bad day, but I'm supposed to say cheese and smile, and so don't now I'm doing this, you know, this fake smile, and so I think about all like little things like that pile up and pile up. Living in a world where my heroes are all fictional characters living on the screens, and living in a world where I say cheese for the camera when I don't mean it, and I smile for fake when I don't mean it, and I can play games and press restart, and Santa Claus isn't real, and all this shit, like all this stuff. It's like,
Oh, that stuff? You think that stuff is big? Dude, evolution plus slavery. I mean, it goes from like peasants to like the field work, the plantations, to the coal mines, to oh my God, please put it up to 15 bucks an hour. We're like free range, choose your own owner slaves.
yeah.
And like that would be okay, except so much of what business is feeding off the worst nature of each other.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's scary to me too. My wife and I are just trying to figure out where we're headed in the future, and as far as finances and stuff, and like she's talking about solutions and stuff, and maybe things we could do, and I'm sitting there thinking, holy shit, I have to spend the rest of the next 20 to 25 years crawling on my hands and knees, paying into a pension that might not be there, and by the time I might not even make it. By the day I retire, I could just kick the bucket, and that's terrifying, dude. And so, yeah, it is. It's a lot to cope with, man. Um,
But we can just watch TV. It'll be okay.
well, that's what I do.
It's
Yeah.
so much. It's just getting through it. Life's it's like why the why of existence, as far as I can tell, is to give of life is to give the middle finger to entropy.
Hmm.
It's like we're gonna live anyway. It's
Yeah.